Welcome back to the ACIM Book Club. This is the last section for Chapter 2. Today we're reviewing Section 13 in the Complete and Annotated edition called The Real Meaning of the Last Judgment. I'm Alison Anton with the Forgiveness podcast for A Course in Miracles. We get to see today that it's us, not God, that ultimately looks upon all our thoughts and actions, and we are the ones that deem them worthy or not. And that's how I want to start us out today. Let's use our daily reminder to show ourselves that our part in the atonement is to keep within our minds only what is lovable. So go ahead and close your eyes and go within yourself for one quick moment. And repeat to yourself, I look upon what I have made and preserve only what is lovable. You can open your eyes, and as usual, we'll start with our summary. The traditional notion of the Last Judgment is a great source of fear, but that notion is false, according to A Course in Miracles. In fact, the Last Judgment is not a case of God judging souls and throwing the bad ones in hell. Rather, it is one of us judging our own thoughts and deeds and retaining only the good, the true. As such, it is the doorway to life. Jesus starts us out in this section with, the final judgment is one of the greatest threat concepts in humanity's perception. And how could it not be if God has it in him to cast people into the lake of fire for whatever reason? Refreshingly, A Course in Miracles has a very different view of the Last Judgment, one that doesn't involve a merciless God at all, and in fact, one that doesn't actually involve God at all. He says, the Last Judgment is generally thought of as a procedure undertaken by God. Actually, it will be undertaken solely by the sonship with my help. It is a final healing rather than a meting out of punishment, however much you may think punishment is deserved. Punishment as a concept is in total opposition to right-mindedness. The aim of the final judgment is to restore right-mindedness to you. So we are the ones doing our own meeting out. We can think of it as a final review. And if we're truly talking about the final healing, as he calls it, we can assume this is a review of our entire path through time, likely through many, many lifetimes or life cycles, not just this one lifetime. It occurs at the very end of our path in time, when we're ready to have our full and complete right-mindedness restored to us. What we're evaluating is what's worthy versus not worthy. Other words for worthy would be what is lovable versus what is not lovable, what's true versus what's false, or what's a creation versus what's a miscreation. Or ultimately, we could say what's real and what's not real. All of these mean the same thing in the eyes of Christ. This is what we're actually evaluating, not just at the very end of our path, but all the way until the end. A Course in Miracles is teaching us how to evaluate properly along our entire path. Everyone will ultimately look upon what he has made and will to preserve only what is good, just as God himself once looked upon what he had created and knew that it was good. The mind will inevitably disown its miscreations, and having withdrawn belief from them, they will no longer exist. This is not because we cast our miscreations into hell, nor do we punish the miscreations or punish ourselves for making them. They're merely evaluated as not real and will simply fall away. No one is killed or even dies, as he mentions in paragraph 7. Actually, if the last judgment is examined objectively, it is quite apparent that it is really the doorway to life. No one who lives in fear is really alive. And he ends this section so beautifully, in my opinion. Your own final judgment cannot be directed toward yourself because you are not your own creation. You can apply it meaningfully and at any time, however, to everything you have ever made, and retain in your real memory only what is good. What he means by this is that we can only judge what we have made, but we can't judge ourselves, actually. God is the only one who can deem ourselves as worthy or unworthy because he's our creator. And he has already deemed us, our true selves, as worthy. So to kind of clarify here, our own final judgment, or even any reviews we hold for ourselves anywhere along our path, are to deem worthy or unworthy what we made. This is not a judgment about who we are or if we ourselves are worthy, just what we made. And Jesus concludes the section by saying that we're working towards the final atonement via the path of atonement. The purpose of time is solely to give you time to achieve this judgment. When everything that you retain is lovable, there is no reason for any fear to remain in you. This is your part in the atonement. Well, we made it through all sections of chapter 2. Big congratulations to you. Before we end, let's go over some things to think about for today's section, and then we'll formally close with our practice statement again. Prior to the course, what was your relationship with the Last Judgment? Did you believe in it? Did you ever think of it? Was it a source of fear for you? And based on the course's concept of the Last Judgment, what kind of relationship would you like to have with it now? You can even ponder if our practice statement today is part of how you'd like to be in relationship with it. So go ahead and close your eyes again and see if this statement resonates deeply. I look upon what I have made and preserve only what is lovable. And you can open your eyes. And isn't that something we all truly want? We preserve only what is lovable. And that's really how God sees us. Okay, we'll end there. I'm Alison Anton with the Forgiveness podcast for A Course in Miracles. It was great talking to you.